Om. Om. Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityurma amritam gamaya, sarvesham swasti bhavatu, sarvesham shantir bhavatu, sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, sarvesham purnam bhavatu, loka samista sukhino bhavantu, sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashantu, ma kashito kamapneyat. Om Trayambakam yajamahe, sugandhim pushtivardanam, urvarukamiva bandhanam, mrityurmokshiyam amritat. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Good morning. Today I thought I'd talk to you about my favorite verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has become my go-to scripture or book or for inspiration whenever I feel that inspiration is needed. And I have one verse that I love, and it happens to be chapter 12, verse 12, which is very poignant at this particular time. And the reason I like this is because whenever I go and there is turmoil in my mind, and I say to myself, wow, you know, I should, and all of those things. And you say to yourself, you know, I'm really not working on my spiritual life. I have all these things that I'm thinking about, and so forth. And then I remember, you know, we have Jnana Yoga, we have Raja Yoga, we have Karma Yoga, we have Bhakti Yoga. So we have knowledge, Jnana, Karma, Yoga of action, Bhakti Yoga, Yoga of our emotions. And when we start thinking about all of those, are we really working? And Raja Yoga, which is control over the mind. And especially when things are difficult, control over the mind is most difficult because it's the energy of the environment is asking for the mind to be fickle. And it is difficult to control. At that time, remember this particular mantra, because we can learn to control the mind and we can be there in meditation. When we sit down and, okay, you're going to clear your mind, you're going to sit down and you're going to meditate. And that is controlling the mind. It is getting the mind ready. It's wonderful. And then you learn to control the mind in certain circumstances. But when you're by yourself, the mind goes here, the mind goes there because you're worried or things like that, or you're not making then you go, then you start judging yourself. And you know, the Lord has given us so many wonderful ways to understand ourselves and to really bring out the power within us. The power within us so that we can go out into the universe and be productive and not have to look back and say, I should have, I could have. Because you know darn good and well, we are all doing the best we can with the tools that we have at this moment. Remember that. We might not have good tools, but we're doing the best with the tools we have. But look at this. If you want to go towards your goal, which is reaching back to the source, not only to the source which we call God, but to the source of your own being, because what we have created is not who we really are. What we have created is actually a shell around the real being that we are. And we're trying to find that being. So he says, Jnana yoga, or knowledge, is better than practice without discernment. Okay? Meditation on God is superior to knowledge. And renunciation of the fruit of action is even superior to meditation, for peace immediately follows from renunciation. Karma yoga is renunciation for the fruit of action. Karma yoga requests you to just be who you are and do the things that come naturally to you. And do them to the best of your ability, to the very best of your ability. And don't look for recognition. Don't look for the result. Just do the very best. So the way he explains karma yoga is your right is to work only, but never for the fruit thereof. Be not instrumental in making your actions bear fruit, nor let your attachment be to inaction. So, if you don't want to let your work or your life bear fruit, you get lazy. No, that's not what we're talking about. Karma yoga means to just do whatever you are doing. And this doesn't mean you change anything. Whatever you are doing, you're doing to the best of your personal ability. And when you do that, and when you do the best because you just want to do the best, you're not looking for approval. You're not looking for accolades. You're not looking for any of that. You're just doing your very best. Do you know what comes from that? It comes an inner strength. Most of the time we do something for something. Well, when we do something for something, we're not really using our inner soul self. But when we're doing something to do our very best, even if we don't particularly like whatever we are doing, but when we're doing it for our best, then our soul self comes through. And this is the beauty that most people don't understand. It is an absolute beauty because all day long you're in action. So all day long you can be working towards renunciation. All day long you can be working towards finding yourself. This is the beauty behind karma yoga. So whatever you do, no matter what it is, do it to the very best of your ability. And that is enough. You see, when we do things to the best of our ability, we are doing things that we can do. And that question never came in, and I make a reference to this frequently. So, if you're a parent and the baby has arrived, you just want to do the best for the baby. You're not asking for it to say, "Good mommy, I'm so happy that you're doing well. Papa, you're doing well." No, it's because of your love for what you are giving that child. It is for your love that you are doing your very best. It is for your being, because you are expressing who you are. You are a parent, and therefore it is automatic. So no matter what we do in life, be it the most mundane things or not, do it the very, very best of your ability. Now, what does that require? Here comes the trick. It requires your focus on what you are doing. You cannot do the very best of your ability if your mind is going somewhere else while you're doing it. No, you have to focus on what you're doing. And that's called mindfulness. And it is very important. So all throughout the day, whatever you are doing, you can do to the very best of your ability. Back to the mundane things of taking care of yourself. And when you focus on that and say, "I'm going to do the best of my ability," you are honoring yourself and you're honoring whoever has created you. Do you see? It is so simple. And you don't have to change your life. You just have to do the very best of your ability to whatever you are doing. If you are reading, you do it to the best of your ability. If you are enjoying, do it to the best of your ability. If you have to wash the dishes, just do it to the best of your ability. And what will happen is that no resentment, nothing can come in that will disturb your mind. Nothing can come in that will give you any depreciation of any sort, because you're just doing. You're just doing to the best of your ability. And you know that that's my constant saying, just do it. Because once you start doing something and you're doing it for the best of your ability, then it snowballs into understanding what you're doing, and then what comes out of that is you begin to learn who you are and the potentials that you have and all the gifts that you have that the Lord has given you. So when you start functioning from this kind of being, guess what? All the other things, the knowledge, the discernment, the meditation, all of those begin to flow automatically. You see, when you have the 4 aspects of yoga, you choose the one that is the easiest for you. I chose Karma Yoga. And knowledge comes automatically. You start the process, you start doing what you want to do, and you give it 100% of your attention. Not any question that you can't do it. You just give 100% attention. And then it just goes ahead and you just do it, and the knowledge begins to come. Similarly, the same thing in your spiritual life. If you feel content with your life because you have done the very best, it might not be the perfect life. It might not be, all life has ups and downs. All life has difficulties, and especially now we have a tremendous difficulty, and people are full of fear. But fear cannot come in once you are doing the best to your ability. Fear will not set in, because all you're concentrating on is to do it the best way I can, to manage this crisis the best way I can, and then figure out which is the best way, and just do it, go ahead, and not looking around and seeing for other people, because you will know what to do. You will intuitively know what to do. This is the beauty. This is the beauty if you begin to trust that you can do things to the best of your ability. The beauty is the intuition that begins to flow. And that comes from your higher self, from your soul self. It comes from your Vijnanamaya Kosh, as we call it. And it is the most beautiful process in which you can live your daily life with all the ups and downs. But there is a kind of peacefulness behind it, that you know that you have done your very best. And no matter what will happen, you couldn't have done better. So you can never look back and say, I should have done this, I should have done that. Because that's not what you were able to do at that time. Hindsight is always better. That means you will have learned more in the future, and you look back and say, oh, I should have done that over there, and I could have done that. But if you did it to the best of your ability, you will never be able to say that. This is the beauty of this wonderful verse that I would like to read again. Knowledge is better than practice without discernment. And knowledge means knowledge of the divine, knowledge of knowing who you really are, what is sitting, and knowing that the Lord is sitting in everyone's heart. Meditation on God is superior of knowledge. That means you have controlled the mind and you're meditating on God. And when you meditate on God, when the meditation is intense, you begin to see and feel and begin to understand who you really are. And you release some of the things that hold us back. But that is not available all day long. That is when we're sitting quietly, unless you are an experienced meditator and you meditate throughout the day, that you are in total meditation all day long in everything that you do. But easier is to do the very best that you can and leave the rest. Mataji always said, my guru, Ma Yogashakti, she always said, do the best and leave the rest. Leave the rest to God. Because if you do the best, then whatever the results are, that is God's concern. But you have to be truthful with yourself. Am I doing the very best? And if you are focused on something, you're doing the very best. If you're trying to do the very best, you are doing the very best. If you say to yourself, I'm going to try to do the best way I can this life, or this problem. I try to solve this problem the best way that I can. I will look at this situation the best way that I can. I will speak to this person the best way that I can in order for our differences to be changed the best way I can, without judgment, because the best way that you can has no judgment in it. It has no ego. So you don't need anything from outside to fulfill what is inside. We're always looking for outside to fulfill our inside. But when we're doing the best that we can, we automatically get fulfilled. It comes naturally because we're fulfilling our own self. with our own self. Because you cannot do your very best unless you tap into that frequency of your high intuition, that you can tap into your soul self in some form. By just wanting to do the very best, that energy comes down to you. So I like you to start thinking of doing the very best that you can in all situations, in all of your life, from the morning you get up to the day to the evening, the way you're dealing with your family, the way you're dealing at work, the way you're dealing with yourself. And yourself is very important in this one, because we like to criticize ourselves more than we will anyone else. But if you are doing your best, you won't have time to do that. And you will not be able to do that because you have done your best. So, this is what I would like you to do, to know that renunciation of the fruit of action is even superior to meditation. For peace immediately follows from renunciation of the fruit of action. And that peace is that you will not judge yourself and you will know that you're okay. And with that, I will close today, but know that this is the most wonderful way to find yourself. And when we find ourselves, we find the divine within us. And when we find the divine within us, we find the divine in all. And when we find the divine in all, we're self-realized. And that is the purpose of life. Purpose of life is not to gain possessions and have experiences. Purpose of life is to explore our potential and enjoy the exploration of our potential, to see who we really are. And when we do, and when we find just a smidgen of that within us, we feel peaceful, because we know that we are beings that are being supported by divinity, because it resides within us. And there is no question of fear, anger, etc., because you have done the very best that you can, and you leave the rest to God. And that's such a wonderful thing. And I heard it so many years from Mataji. Do the very best, leave the rest. Just like that. Do the very best, leave the rest. In all of your actions. Do the very best and leave the rest, because that is the freedom that you can. You can experience that feeling of, it's equanimity, no, contentment maybe. It's not joy, it's contentment maybe. Something like that. It's okay. You're okay. So that is my message to you today. Hari Om. I will Om you home, but you're not here. Om. 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 Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.